welcome to the CoinSec Podcast. We are live. Steve
My wife got
has...
me this. I thought it was a multi, voice changer.
I love it. It's awesome. Well, guys, we have missed a bit over the last couple weeks. Had things going
are we
on.
Live? I don't see the video yet.
I think we are. I see the end stream button. Are we live?
I keep refreshing your page and I don't see it.
Oh.
Yeah, we're good. We are live. I see.
Right.
Always good to be
confirmed. Here we go.
Well, after a little bit of technical issues there, hopefully we're good to go for the rest of the show. Ryan,
it's
definitely let us
we
know.
Took a break. This is weird.
I know, right? Yeah, honestly, I had to kind of remember how to actually do this.
Now I see it. All right.
The rainstorm of the cloud has been raining directly on Bo for at least a month.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say bad. It's not that bad. It's just I was teaching and had some other work stuff that was kind of important I had to do. But
How dare you?
I know. Well, anyways, we are back for episode 49 of the CoinSec Podcast. We have a lot to get through today. But first, how you guys doing?
Fantastic. I've had a few week break, right?
I'm doing terrible.
There were no security issues over that
no,
past week, right?
Usually
Nothing.
This time of year is pretty much dead quiet around the security industry, right? And then I think last year around this time we had SolarWinds come around, which made it pretty bad.
What was that?
We've got several vulnerabilities, one of which we'll talk about at the end of the show that might affect a lot of the projects we use in the cryptocurrency space. So it's been a busy, especially the last week for everybody.
My keys keep getting compromised. I can't stop it.
That's a theme of this week, though, isn't it? I mean, we've got.
I lost my keys. Have you seen them?
It's every day I wake up, another 100 million gone. It's crazy.
Hey, at least you got more to spend, though. Apparently, according to CoinMarketCap yesterday, anyway. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
God.
I was really, really rich, really, really rich, and yeah, but now I'm not.
So
yeah, it was like a quadrillion market cap, I think, at one point.
how many bets that somebody will talk about that in Congress as a reason crypto is bad? Well, you can't control the price.
Right.
We can't control the price.
I mean,
did you see the site?
Honestly, I was legit worried that was gonna affect some real stuff. So for those of you who don't know, yesterday CoinMarketCap had this crazy thing happen where all of the numbers just went bizarrely high, insanely high, trillion, every market cap looked like you had trillions and trillions of dollars in every single market cap, even the lowest ones. And I was legit worried that there's maybe Oracle services or something that were calling these, think about if you had a smart contract.
If you wrote a bot and you didn't validate the numbers, you're right, from a very bad time.
Use more than one source here.
Honey, we got to go to the Lamborghini dealership right now.
And so it wasn't CoinMarketCap though. Yeah. So there's a screenshot. So it wasn't CoinMarketCap though. So this issue, because of CoinMarketCap having APIs and stuff that a lot of other sites use, I saw this on Coinbase. So Coinbase had this exact same problem. There was Cointelegraph, the news website, had the same problem. So yeah, I mean, so yes, this is just should just be used for a reference number. Shouldn't actually be used for actual data to trade with or whatever, right? But there's people out there that either like Corey mentioned had bots set up to auto sell and buy based off this API.
Yeah, I've written
or worse, right?
Sell.
Think about smart contracts that were maybe leveraging this kind of thing, right? As a reference.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because you talk about oracles and stuff, and you can't just rely on one source for your pricing or your so those people who had maybe lost money on that because of that, I don't know if I feel bad because you should be getting your pricing from a lot of different sources.
Well, I was getting my pricing from CoinMarketCap, Coinbase,
and CoinGecko.
CoinGecko. Yeah, I mean, also don't use.
So, what was the technical reason behind this?
I don't think that's
Nobody knows yet.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm
bit-
totally like on the conspiracy. This was a Log4J whatever issue.
That's what I thought.
Log4J.
Yeah, right away. But that'd be
Is it Forge
that
or
would be
4J?
been compromised.
That's the
For
debate.
J because it's for Java.
For Java.
Java.
People are saying both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knows?
Well,
I
hey,
mean,
since we brought that up, maybe we should just talk about that. What is this Log4J thing, Steve? Like, what is this?
Oh yeah. So if you skip down, there we go, down to the end of the notes there. Log4j is a library basically in Java. 50 billion some applications use Java. Java is a programming language that a lot of people learn in college and coming out of high school and things like that. So it's used to do exactly what it says. It's to log things, right? So when an error message happens in an application, it sends it to a log file. When some information comes in and it's set to save it to the log, it'll do that. And sometimes it'll take unsanitized input and kind of just let that go through the system or execute it or whatever. And in this case, there's a way to do things like DNS lookups and connect to LDAP and a few other protocols using this. So you can basically just send a string into maybe an input form or a user agent header or something like that to a site. It'll process it on the back end somewhere, maybe, if something's using Java to process those log files. And then your code or whatever you have as your payload will get executed. And you can do it like if you're just testing for DNS lookups and things like that. But a lot of stuff in the crypto space uses Java, right? You can go to GitHub, and I don't want to go show any of the projects that are, except for the one we have on the link. We can show that because the project has been patched right there for Hyperledger's, I don't know how you pronounce that, Besu?
Besu, yeah.
Mode. So they've worked quickly and patched that. And like if you searched on Shodan, there's a ton of them out there. So it's a good thing that they've patched that as quickly as they did, because this is a major thing that's kind of scaring the entire InfoSec community, right? Where we're taxing all of our defenders because everybody's having to deal with this. Because like I said, Java's on just about everything. Your routers, your firewalls, your logging stuff, your home computer. Could be, just about anywhere this stuff is being used.
Yeah, this one's pretty scary because, like, even when you're, I was just thinking about this week, like, sometimes you find a vulnerability, you're like, oh, I could use this on an assessment or whatever. But this one, I'm like, no, I don't even want to get near it. Like, it's so, exploitable right now. And so many people are in, like, weird situations where there's not, like, a patch. They don't even know. Some organizations haven't even released a patch for this. So it's pretty wild right now.
Yeah, in my research, I searched on GitHub for Log4j and some of these projects, and there's a lot of thousands of crypto projects out there right now that are using this. So I suggest if you're out there and you're interested in this type of thing, that you go look up bug bounties on some of the bug bounty platforms for these crypto projects, and then go test those with authorization, right, as long as it's in scope, if you're looking to do that.
Yeah. So, outside of crypto too, like this is just an insane issue. We were kind of throwing around some your potential cases last night, Steve, and I don't know, like I think that there's some really, really big implications in the crypto space specifically. And like that example you gave, the Hyperledger Besu one, like, I mean, if ETH nodes were to be compromised due to this vulnerability, like that could be really bad.
Yeah, a lot of the attacks are client side too. So if you're running a wallet application or you're running a mining application or things like that, it can attack your client side, which is scary because that's probably where your keys are. So if you are in that situation where you run, let's call them less than legit applications on your mining workstation or whatever, maybe take your keys off or put your stuff in a cold wallet just for now until things blow over.
That's good practice anyways, right, to have your mining equipment separated from where you keep your wallets as well. So it's a good point.
All right, so now that we got that out of the way,
or if you play Minecraft on your mining rig.
Yeah, that also affects Minecraft.
Yeah.
So make sure your kids or you are updating your Minecraft servers. and cost, right?
Didn't
Yeah.
so I saw there was a tweet. I can't remember who it was, but they got they were playing Minecraft, and just in the chat, I think they put the Log4j like payload, and like it executed on the server side, right?
Yeah.
Because it got parsed.
If you host a Minecraft server or even in the Minecraft client, I believe both have now been patched. It was high profile early on, so just update.
Mm-hmm.
Update what you can. But the main scary thing about the vulnerability is that it will persist for years because it's Java dependencies are notoriously difficult. This is dependent on this program, which actually uses Log4j, but it's obfuscated away from the developer that program even uses Log4j. So have fun with that.
Isn't it funny how Minecraft was like one of the first to get patched?
Yeah, it's funny. Minecraft is patched, right? All of VMware products, there is only workarounds right now. No patches for the whole thing, right? But
dude, that's a big botnet. I mean, Minecraft is a lot. That's a lot of players and a lot of servers and a lot of hardware and a lot of GPUs. Yeah, it's getting abused a lot for crypto mining attacks, which makes sense, right? If you're running Minecraft, you definitely have a GPU.
Yeah, so that actually brings up a good point. So, what is the go-to like malware-based crypto miner these days? Because previously it used to be CoinHive, mine Monero with CoinHive. Are there any good like CPU-based coins that you can mine currently?
Well, still, Monero is going to be the major one, right? Because it's using a CPU-friendly algorithm. So we see coin miners and crypto jackers still using that predominantly, but that's typically pretty easy to detect unless it's specially crafted and compiled and obfuscated and things like that. But you're going to see that spike in CPU usage. Those network calls out to the mining nodes or whatever, mining pools. So it's usually XMRig. A lot of people say like, they're going to mine Bitcoin on it, but we all know that, nobody's going to mine Bitcoin from a VPS server in the cloud very effectively.
I mean, if I was writing an exploit, I would write one for NM Miner or NiceHash Miner that would just, Minecraft client to NiceHash.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you got to think. So if you're targeting like somebody in Minecraft, that's going to be an end user who's probably got a GPU. So you're going to craft your payload differently than if you were targeting something in the cloud that's CPU based only.
Yeah, and there's a reason that Defender and other tools will pick up pretty much any crypto miner as, hey, are you sure you want this? Are you sure? Is this a good idea?
Yeah, it'd be useful if you do have Minecraft in your household to make sure it's updated and at least run a full antivirus scan to check for basic crypto miners and stuff like that, just in case.
I think Steam was affected too. A lot of common gamer-related client apps were affected. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to some crypto hacks for the week. All right, so the first one we got up is the BadgerDAO. So this was a pretty big one, $120 million hack. And this one was interesting because people honestly, they were very confused of how this actually happened. What ended up going down is a lot of people that were customers of BadgerDAO ended up having money siphoned from their accounts on BadgerDAO. And everyone was like, WTF, like what's happening here? Like why is this happening? And after some investigation, it actually turned out to be a CloudFlare compromise of the account owned by BadgerDAO. And I find this fascinating. Mm-hmm. And so basically an attacker found a way to register an API key within somebody else's CloudFlare account prior to it being verified. So like, for example, me as an attacker could register this key within, let's say like Ralph's account. And then Ralph gets an email saying, hey, verify this new account that was generated, new API access that was generated in your account. And if he goes and clicks verify, it will actually enable that account. So they managed to do that, and somebody at BadgerDAO actually clicked through and verified accidentally, like on a new API key.
I was reading into this one too, and it was really interesting. But yeah, they were able to register the account, make the API key. Nothing was good until they clicked that email, but they ended up convincing them to click the email. And then what happened next is also kind of interesting.
Yeah, so like just compromising the Cloudflare account itself, like there's not a whole, that doesn't really mean a whole bunch, right? So what they ended up doing though is they ended up injecting Web3 scripts to do token approvals on the accounts that were visiting the website. So as users of BadgerDAO were visiting this website, they would get the the typical MetaMask pop-up that says, "Hey, this site wants to approve token whatever," right? Like for the contract to be able to send from that account. And as if people trusted the site, they're visiting the legit website. They clicked approve, and then that now provided the attacker the ability to send from those accounts. And the thing is, they did it like in very short periods. So like they would like enable it and then turn it off and enable it over the course of a month. So it was very like not everyone was getting it as they were visiting the website. So it made it kind of hard to detect. But yeah.
We see more of this now. Copycat time.
So it's patched.
Idea.
Well, the Cloudflare vulnerability is patched. Okay.
Well,
so
what do you mean? A lot of this with Magento compromises, where crews who steal credit cards will inject JavaScript into the website after they've compromised either the account or the website or something like that itself. And they'll inject their JavaScript either there or on a remote server where it's sitting and they can't just delete it, and it gets it's obfuscated and all that stuff. And it does the same thing. Enter your credit card number. It siphons it off. It still submits the correct form, but in this case, it's just stealing the cryptocurrency. So it's a very interesting tactic that's been used before in other types of compromises, but I think that's the first time I've seen it used in this kind of
it's kind of at a new layer, right? You have your proxy layer that's a little interesting. I mean, there's been firewall compromises and things like that, but it's interesting. You think about your WAF. It's like, or I guess at this level, the Cloudflare was functioning more as like a WAF or a load balancer, but it's like that is a compromised vector you don't normally think about, is that gateway can modify the traffic on the fly and is a vector. But what do you mean it's patched? Like that doesn't actually make sense, because isn't it a feature, right? Like, Ralph, I need to access, or was it an exploit that actually let you?
So the way it would work is that you would go to Cloudflare and you could register an account with your email address, right? And the Cloudflare would be like, "Oh yeah, go ahead," and it would go through the process of setting up the account, and you would get access to the whole thing. It would be like, you just need to validate your email address, and then you'd make the API key or whatever, and it would send that validation. And then when they clicked it, that it would give you access to everything that was.
So it's like a business logic abuse on the Cloudflare side.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a feature where, like, if I'm like, hey, I'm just a developer, I need to request access to have an API key in Ralph's Cloudflare.
No,
it sounds like it wasn't that.
No, it definitely wasn't that. I mean, like the one saving grace was the email verification, and they accidentally clicked on it.
Right.
Not realizing.
How many people how many of us on the offensive side have gotten people to accidentally click their multi-factor when we hit the submit button on their password?
It becomes reflexive over time, right? You're just used to hitting approve.
Well, and the thing, the email would have came from Cloudflare, and it would have been for your account, and maybe you didn't initiate it, but it doesn't seem malicious per se, right?
It's coming from Cloudflare, and it's just an API related,
Yeah, and it's for you. Like it seems, and you're the person who's in control of that. So I guess I can see it to a certain degree, but yeah. So it was technically a vulnerability with Cloudflare. They've patched it. Right, that piece, so you can't do that anymore. I'm not exactly sure like the process flow, but you shouldn't even be able to, you should have to validate before you even get into the account. So yeah,
I think there'll still be copycats. If it's not this, it'll be like Steve said, injecting JavaScript, or also at the gateway layer, right? That now is a part of the vector. If you're using these different load balancers or things like that, you can injecting Web3, injecting malicious Web3. I think will become more of a vector over time. So. Yeah,
it is interesting though, because the attack is kind of like they got access to the account, but then they had to figure out how to like use it. I'm not exactly sure if they had that full intention, that a full attack path like laid out. Yeah. But once they got it, they were like, oh well, we can use an a Cloudflare worker to inject this JavaScript into here to modify this, and then we'll do it very covertly because they wanted to get that big transaction, and that's the one that finally took it over the edge where they halted all the transactions.
Well, I think they did it over time, right? It was like the worm from
what was that time delta? How long did that take? Right.
Well, I think that they were waiting. From what I read, they were waiting. It appears that they're waiting for a big enough transaction, and that's what raised the suspicion. Right?
I mean, how long did it take from the click on the phishing email to the injection of the script?
Okay, so November.
That would tell me whether or not it was planned out ahead of time.
Yeah. So November 10th is when they did the first injection into the API, where they did the first one, and then. On November 20th, the first on-chain malicious approval was made through the.
Before that, when was the phish or the approval approved?
Mid-September is when they completed the account creation for one of the 3 compromised accounts.
So they had a while.
And then it wasn't until December 2nd that that the community kind of was like, "Hey, what's up with this transaction? This is really big. It's suspicious, right?" And that's when they started investigating. They didn't know at that point,
right? And that's a great case for a cloud audit of some type, right? Go in there and check permissions and rights and roles and things like that. Have a third party come in and do that periodically, especially if you make major changes within the infrastructure. Have that done each time. Yeah,
they paused all of the contracts, so everything just stopped. But in the end, it looks like the total was something like what was it, 100 and something million, 121 million. I think they recovered 9 million, and so 121 million was the grand total.
It's also interesting that if in the attack they avoided like the multi-sig dev keys and other like common like easy targets because they probably assumed that there would be some kind of monitoring. Like if a transaction goes out from the multi-sig key, just stop it and we'll review it, or maybe there's a time delay or whatever. It's just interesting. I mean, clearly it was actually a real advanced attack, right? It's actually they knew what they were doing.
One thing I wanted to add real quick is at the show notes, if you look at that section, Ryan, scroll down just a little bit, right below the BadgerDAO section, I included a link there for a token approval checker. Down a little bit further, should be right below. It should show up there. Why isn't it showing up?
I see it.
I don't know why it's not showing up for Ryan on that.
Maybe refresh, yeah.
Ryan's on dial-up.
There it is. All right, yeah. So what I did is I threw in EtherScan's token approval checker here. Now this is something definitely worth doing if you use Ethereum at all. If you ever connect to any sites, or if you ever approve any tokens to be spent on your behalf, using the site, you can actually put in your address and see where you've previously approved tokens before, and so that can give you an idea of what contracts, what other things have access to send on your behalf, right? And so, like in this case, had you like been quick enough and kind of analyzed that you had given approval, you could have gone here and actually revoked that approval.
It's still hard when what the server's sending you is malicious. That's a hard attack vector to avoid, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you're injecting Web3 before it hits the client isn't technically like aware. I guess there's probably ways to validate that, like signatures and stuff, but it's just hard when you control what's going out on the server. You could modify the signature and all that stuff. So,
all right, moving on to the next story. So we've got 4 stories that are all key compromise stories, and this is the first of those 4. So Vulcan Forged is the first one that's up. So Vulcan Forged is a crypto gaming ecosystem which creates wallets on behalf of its users. So in this particular attack, 96 private keys of users of Vulcan Forge were stolen. They use a wallet management software called Vuln. Vuln has basically said that their servers and solutions have not been compromised. The Vuln team is actively helping the Vulcan Forge team with data analytics. But it looks like it's probably more on the Vulcan Forge side as of now.
So, wow, 96 keys and $140 million. There's some serious high rollers on that platform.
Right. This is one that's I know has boomed quite a bit of the last few months. A lot of the crypto gaming tokens and like VR tokens, metaverse tokens, like that kind of stuff is all done pretty well. So this, it kind of makes sense if you were an early adopter on this side that you would have quite a bit, but now you don't, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, other than the advice of keep the stuff in your own wallet, right? Like don't keep it in.
Well, so you can't, can you? That's one of the things about this platform is I don't think you can. They do manage wallets. I mean, I've never used the product,
True.
but based on the fact that there was over $1 million in 96 wallets, it's just my gut says there has to be the only option.
So
would
the
be
token is on Uniswap though, so that kind of leads me to think that there is a way to get it off, right? Like at least get it out of the platform. So I don't know. I mean, I think that
I can't flex on everyone in the game with my sick assets.
True. That's a good point. Yeah.
Like I'm playing the game to be a whale. I'm a whale in the game. That's why I've invested half my Ethereum in it.
So that's the first one of 4. All right, second up we got AscendEX, which is a $77.7 million compromise. So AscendEX is a centralized exchange created by a group of Wall Street quantitative trading veterans.
If that isn't a reason not to use it, I cannot think of a better reason not to use it.
Funds were drained from the hot wallet across 3 chains beginning at just before 8 p.m. on December 11th. They're still investigating what led to the wallet being compromised. But yeah, I guess that's TBD. So apparently affected AscendEX users will be reimbursed. That is good there.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, this is a lot of money, right? Like 77.7 million. Like that's.
I think mommy and daddy run an insurance company or something.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't know if there's an insurance policy that covers that much, but maybe there is. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I'm sure there is, but I don't think it would apply to like blockchain, right? Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'll be the first to say it. Like, Bo, we were talking about it a little bit before the show, but how many of these wallet thefts are real, and how many are like? I mean, if you just think about the incentives, you have developers of a blockchain that probably aren't making millions.
Developers.
I just want to say it. You have developers that are not making crazy money, and then you have people on the platform that are making crazy money. Developers maybe have access to the keys. Insiders, there's a lot of, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing about, and it's like the bank workers are just like, what if I just took one of these gold bullions and just threw it in my car? Just, whoops. It's I don't know. Key compromise. I don't know.
We've been hacked. Better call up the insurance.
I mean, yeah, we talked about it on BHIS News earlier, but it's like the person running the investigation at Ubiquity was like the person that actually had compromised. It's like, yeah, I'm investigating this key compromise. I can't figure out who did it. It's just you. You did it.
You did it. Oh my gosh.
It makes you wonder. All right, so there's, obviously like smart contract assessments that are out there, right? Like to look for vulnerabilities in smart contracts. It makes you wonder if there's a market for just doing like, anti-rug pull assessments, like basically doing like almost like an insider kind of like assumed compromise scenario, like prior to anything ever getting deployed, right? And then just seeing like, all right, what are all the situations in which somebody, like a developer, somebody who has access to a key, like, is there anything actually preventing that from like mass exfil basically?
I think that would be insanely useful. I think it would reduce the number of rug pulls, key thefts. I mean, even if you do that assessment from a internal perspective and you see nothing, there's still value in saying like, how is our multi-sig setup? How is our what transactions are we monitoring? How do our contracts work if one of the keys is compromised? All that stuff. And how do we recover, right? It's like incident response. I mean, it's the same crap we do on purple teams. How do we, can we pay this back? Can we wind back the blockchain and like get this money back? How does that process work? So I think
a lot of these projects are like started overnight too, and so it's just they're moving at the speed of light. That's not to say that it's not all in their plan to rug pull. It's just that they some of these accidents do happen, and then other people are like, you know what, that's a good exit strategy. You know what, we just take the money and just say it was a mess up, and we we made it. So I don't know.
Well, also, let's talk about the talent pool of people who are able to write the stuff at this level.
I know,
right?
No.
If you're like, okay, we're going to do a blockchain startup, good luck finding people, right? And good luck finding people that are trustworthy, right? Like,
good luck finding people to audit those people.
yeah, I mean, it's a new industry. It's interesting, some of it's not the reputation. It's hard, it's hard to be like, okay, here's a scenario. There's no downside, and you can steal $120 million. And then you can spend
what do we do?
It's like, yeah, even like a moral person might be like,
hey guys, we gotta worry about law enforcement.
hold on, so I have the keys to the kingdom. We can just say it was a key theft and get the insurance to pay it out, and I can spend it on crypto exchanges, which are extremely easy to mix it and flip it. And
yeah, I doubt that's some of these cases, but I think it's more of business going too fast, and security is basically a cost center, and it doesn't make any money. So they're out there and they want to make money first. That's why we see a lot of these platforms go live and then get an audit, or get a small audit, go live, and then change everything, not get another audit. So
yeah, it's crypto fever. And I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not accusing this company of doing a rug pull. I'm just saying like Bo said, you have to think about the incentives and angles of people who are, privileged in these organizations. How are we building code and building contracts and building systems so that they can't just immediately steal $120 million with no downside?
Yep. I want to make sure any crypto project I interact with, their admin team has full background checks, secret clearances. I want to trust them. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? Yeah. Best you can do is a 15-year-old kid you found on Discord that has some insanely cool tools that he
right. And you can't typically walk in the front door and lodge a complaint.
It's not FDIC insurance. What? Are you telling me it can go down? That's impossible. I have crypto fever. Nothing goes down, Steve. Nothing.
Well, just to not to kick FDIC insured in the teeth, but the amount of money here, FDIC is not insuring that. So maybe per person, but not the total amount, right? And some of these transactions are, millions of dollars. It's not insured, right? So anyway.
Well, apparently it is at AscendEX or AscendEX because
they just call up mom and dad or whoever it was and get it taken care of. But
that'll be interesting if they ever publish like who their insurance. Was it insurance or are they just going to take the hit?
Well, so I was going to say there's another story we haven't gotten to yet, but they also are going to pay out $1 million from an insurance company called Tidal, TIDAL. But
so Kanye West or Beyonce and Jay-Z's streaming service is now doing crypto insurance.
It's all the royalties from plays of musicians who leverage their NFTs for that platform.
Okay.
It's very complex.
I would believe you, so don't. You gotta be careful.
All right. Next up, another key compromise. This one's a really large one. So $200 million from Bitmart. This was December 5th. Cryptocurrency exchange Bitmart was on the receiving end of a major hack that saw the platform lose nearly $200 million via a hot wallet compromise hosted over the Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain blockchains. This was, yet another case where hot wallet was compromised, keys, exposed somehow. Still to be determined, I think, on how exactly that happened, but I don't know what to say really. It's like this is the third one. Is this a trend we're going to see more of? Are we going to see bigger and bigger exchanges have this issue, or do you think that the more this happens, people will start to use multi-sig more? Start not hosting things in a single wallet like this. What are your opinions, guys?
I mean, honestly, how do they have $200 million to pay people out? That's my question. How have they made $200 million in profit over the last couple of years? Like, that's insane. Or are they? Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean profit?
Yeah.
Well, so they're compensating users out of their own pocket. So they have to have $200 million in their pocket. How do they get that?
In this particular attack?
In Bitmart, yeah, that's what it says.
Oh, it says they are paying them back? I didn't.
Yeah, out of their own pocket. That's what I'm saying. How are their pockets so deep? That's like, there's not many banks, I think,
that's
that
the
could pay
cold
back.
wallet. That's just all the other money they've.
Like, basically, is this a Ponzi scheme? I can't believe that there's a company like this that just has $200 million that they can just be like, oh, damn, that was the holiday bonuses, but whatever, we'll give it out. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Apparently, that it's always possible. It also is like, how are they going to pay it out? Or are they just saying that so then people buy it? I don't know. Who knows?
And why would you have one key for multiple chains in a exchange hot wallet? There's no reason for that whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just stole the $200 million from themselves. They'll collect like an insurance payout of like $100,000 and then just take the money and put it back in the account or something.
It just comes right back in. Just goes through a washing service and then just comes right back in.
They're like, we managed to recover the funds. We tracked down a laptop that was thrown into a lake.
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. I just think it's weird that they lost it, like you said, and then they're paying him back. And...
Yeah, and I mean the trend here is a little suspect, right? All the cryptos start losing money. Things are uncertain, and then our keys. Oh God!
But I don't know. Maybe it's just more of like trying to keep the scam going and being like, oh, we will pay you guys back. Don't worry.
That's exactly. Yeah, I mean, basically, you know what? I will wear. I don't know. I'll wear a really embarrassing shirt if they actually pay anyone back, because $200 million, dude. That. Like Apple would be like, wow, that's a big fine. And Apple's like the most like cash reserves company. Like, you know what I mean? And this is Bitmart. This is not Apple. They probably have a dev team of like 15 people. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we have any intel on if the post-mortem on this as far as tracking goes? Did they say, oh, it all went to Tornado or?
No, I didn't say really anything about that. I thought that was also interesting.
Oh wait, this is not the same. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a different exchange hack.
Because that would be interesting to see if they actually go after, or if they're just like, no, we're not going to look into that.
Tornado Cash. So yeah. They deposited the funds to Tornado. So that's gone.
Bye.
That's gone. That was a good day. It was fun.
They'll recover it. Guys? They'll recover it out of their own funds. Don't worry.
If you were a user of Bitmart affected, we deeply apologize for our lack of empathy.
Yeah, you can tell none of us were on the chain at the time, but that's I don't know. I guess that is they say they're going to pay people back, so I guess you can you can cry yourself to sleep instead of crying yourself awake.
All right, so on to our fourth key compromise.
and another one,
This one's
one,
like the cherry on top, right? Like WTF.
So the point.
Wait, how do you pronounce this?
I'm leaning on 8. I'm leaning on it's just 8.
Just 8. Just going with it.
No, it's 8.
8. 8. All right. Well, all right. So the thing that's kind of interesting about this one, it's only 1.75 million, so not quite the 200 million we had last story.
Losers.
But this one, I don't know. Like, to me, screams just like rug. Like that they just ran with it. And the reason is because so they apparently they sent their keys through Facebook groups and Google Drive, didn't leverage any sort of multi-sig. And then their last tweet was December 6th. Let's actually check it right now. Like, did they have any new tweets since December 6th? Because I checked it yesterday, and that was the most recent tweet. So if you go to their main account, like click their account real quick, just that 8 finance. Anything since December 6th, or is that the last one still? That's their pen. Keep going.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone, dude. And so the thing is, like, yesterday I tried to go to their website, 8finance.finance. It's just gone. I have a feeling, well, you guys know.
This one, we've talked shit on a lot of like actual companies. This one is the fly by night 15-year-old from Discord.
The boy who cried stolen keys.
Like, sorry guys. I accidentally exposed some private keys in Google Drive. Bye.
And Facebook groups. They just had like a public Facebook group called Our Keys, and you just joined. They just had like a public organization. 5 stars, got the keys. Thanks, guys.
5 stars. This service was awesome. In the support chat, they just give out the public keys.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this one has to be like. This is honestly an example of like, and I don't actually. This is a question for Bo and Steve and anyone that might know. Can you tell if a chain uses multi-sig? Like, other than if they get audited, can you like look on the blockchain and see if their main key is multi-sig or no?
You have to have the private key to see that, right? You can't tell from their public key that it's a private key.
Right, because it's still ultimately signing a transaction at the end of the day. That's really what it's all about, right? Like signing a transaction. So
I wasn't sure if there's like a special way the blockchain would handle, like if there's multiple. Signatures or something, but that makes sense.
Yeah, this was also a DeFi product, which are like even...
They rugged on Polygon there.
Yeah. Dude, it was a staking one too, so this is like really common for the DeFi and the staking and all the other fun stuff. They come out with their own token, and then, this is not uncommon to see.
Here's a good rule of thumb for our listeners. If you can't pronounce the company, don't invest your money.
Or if it ends in .finance, it might be suspect.
True. Honestly, I would lean on like food names too, but there's a lot of those.
Yeah, any of the. Okay, so there are some good ones that are legitimate.
Yeah, sure. Like sushi's good. Like sushi's fine.
Cake is fine.
Yeah, cake's fine.
But
sweet
like
rug pull. No,
that's okay.
Popsicle was one that got hacked, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's where it all starts, though. It started with a couple cakes and sushis, and then everyone wanted a food name, and they were just making guacamole. Dude, the whole thing, and like all of these are getting wrecked in like 45 minutes, planned or unplanned. Who knows, man? And then they'd be like, "We're coming back. Now we're gonna be guacamole and chips. Woohoo!" It's ridiculous.
So, guys, something happened to me this week. I went to sell one of my Bored Apes, and I mistyped the decimal point. And
God. That was you, man. Oh, that's so embarrassing.
It was not me. I don't want to put.
You were on the BBC homepage, bro.
But it was pretty funny. Someone tried to sell their Bored Ape and typed the wrong price.
No, this is tragic, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is a tragic mistake. And
dude,
for me, I bought it.
Really? No, you have 35K in gas?
I mean, for that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this actually brings up I think it's a huge problem with OpenSea. All right, so there should be no reason why I should be able to put an NFT on the market for like 200 grand less than like the floor price of an NFT. Like there should be, I mean, there should at least be warnings, right? Like it should say, are you sure about that? I mean, double check that decimal place, it's in the right spot.
Well, as a Bored Ape holder, I would say that not me. I don't hold any Bored Apes. I'll be clear about that. But if you were a Bored Ape holder, and somebody else diluted the price floor with their bottom selling whatever, then that kind of takes the whole price down of the whole ecosystem. It's kind of like if your neighbor sells their house for half of what yours is. When you go to sell yours a couple months later,
I disagree with that. I think one NFT going for that doesn't affect it at all.
Well, I'm probably not, but if this would happen more often.
I mean, I would say
But
that a
it's
warning on the
scrapping.
website. Yeah, I mean, it just shows you that when
What
you're in the
about-
Wild West,
Like you say, it should be a warning.
What about a time delay? What about like a 24-hour time delay, right? Like the
No,
transaction.
because people trade them, man. Like people trade and they they buy and sell quickly. So like
Yeah.
it's just like coins, right? Like
Yeah, so on a certain price, there's a time delay of 24 hours that the transaction is open for a cancel, right? You have 24 hours after that, then it goes through. So that way, if there's some mistake or something like that, you can fix it and then back
you
out.
mean like an escrow situation?
Yeah, 24 hours to back out. The seller has 24 hours to back out of the transaction.
So there is an NFT project that actually has that. Bo and I were just looking at it yesterday. What was that, Bo?
the particle one, is that
Particle.
the particle? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're giving users the ability to sign up on a wait list, and then if they get in, then they get the opportunity within 48 hours to either accept and move forward with purchasing the NFT, or they cancel and it rolls down the list to the next person.
Yeah. So this
it
was
can
actually
be done.
kind of interesting. So this particle NFT group. They basically buy like super high profile art. So like for example, the one that Steve and I signed up for whitelist for, hopefully, is they're actually selling a Banksy painting. And the way that works is they divide it up into like 10,000 sections. So like they split like little tiny pieces, and then each one of those is a piece of the painting. Which is kind of interesting. But they basically buy these crazy paintings. Like I think I saw they bought that Banksy for like 21 million or something crazy. Kind of interesting idea, though.
Do you get the physical piece of the Banksy too?
I don't think so, no.
they cut
Dude,
it up and send it to you.
Name an NFT where you get anything physical, and I can't just right click save as JPEG.
I'm gonna make one. It's gonna
Okay.
be
So there have been a
art
couple
piece.
that have that they offer like merch associated with stuff, like
Mhm.
like
And
due
there's-
to you having the NFT. I don't know if that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's the band name that's doing
Avenged
the
Sevenfold.
NFT? Huh?
Avenged Sevenfold?
Yeah, Avenged Sevenfold. You talked about that a few episodes
Yeah.
ago, and you can go to their concerts and stuff like that. So you do get
Like
you
an
do get
in
value out of it.
in-person value, right? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can't go pick up an object unless they give it to you. It's not like that object is tied to the blockchain.
Yeah, that
Until
would
they
never
figure that
work.
out.
There's no way to because then that actually breaks the NFT, because then it's like, well, the physical object can be stolen. Aren't we back to just where like? Yeah,
I think with those Banksies, they're actually burning them. Like they buy them and destroy them, turn them into an NFT, and then
I don't think they did it for this one. I think
they didn't do it for this
that has
one.
been done. Yeah, like for show, right? Like that was a very much a show kind of thing. But I don't think they did that for this one. But I don't know. I think that like on both the selling and buying side, like I've seen this exact thing happen a couple times now, where somebody just either fat fingers it or like they get tricked on another site, like a third party site, into approving a transaction, which actually like posts like that NFT for sale. And so here's the thing is you can realize like literally the moment you click the button to go that you're posting something for sale, and you can't back out of it because there are bots that are paying. How much did this one pay? Paid $32,000.
Yeah,
$30,000 to make it instant.
$32,000 in gas.
ETH.
$32,000 in gas just to get the transaction through before you have the opportunity to even cancel it. So this is why like it's a problem, right? Because if I, for example, like if I posted a Bored Ape like this and realize I made a mistake, there's no getting that back. It's like it's gone. There's bots ready to buy that shit like immediately, and it's not just Bored Apes. It's like all the major NFTs.
Everything on OpenSea, right? I mean, they absolutely need to set up an escrow system, or like Ralph said, just a time delay or warnings.
The time
or
delay
things like
doesn't
that.
even have to be. It doesn't even have to be on the blockchain. It could be in the damn site, man. Hey, listen, 24-hour time delay for large, over $100,000 sale, right? After the 24 hours, it goes live, but you can cancel anytime within the 24 hours. Wow, just save this dude $200,000.
And of course, you can turn that feature off if you want to live on the edge and put your bare ass on the internet. That's fine.
Go to the advanced settings and say, screw it. But still, though, or maybe even have the option to set that time delay. Be like, oh, okay, well, I'm selling big stuff. I at least want like a 5-hour time delay so that I know that this is.
But you know what? The people who are making that mistake are traders. People that are actually trying to actively trade like day daily, right? Because they're doing a lot of transactions quickly, and it's a lot easier to mess that up.
Sure.
I think your standard user who's not. Good.
The bot purchased that NFT and then relisted it like immediately for 250 or whatever, 300,000. Has it sold?
Sold.
I haven't looked. Let's see. So that's Bored Ape number 3547. I'm gonna take a look.
Here we go.
Give me a second.
I mean, yeah, I do think NFTs attract a non-technical. I mean, look at all the celebrities, dude. Do you think Snoop Dogg knows how to like use the blockchain by himself? I don't know, maybe, but like,
I think he does.
You think Snoop's?
Oh yeah, Snoop's
he
very
used
savvy.
GETH back in the day. He's got his own.
Okay, so it's sold for
He's a gangster.
It's sold for 60 ETH 2 days ago. So yeah, there was a listen to this. All right, so 4 days ago, look at this. 4 days ago, 0.75 ETH. 2 days ago, 59.99 ETH. So 60 ETH.
So do you think this? The real question is, were they using a numpad? Do you think? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so after paying gas, how much did the attacker make?
Like 70 ETH, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like a lot.
Or 60 something ETH.
Yeah.
No.
So 60 minus 8, right? So 52 ETH.
52 ETH in pure profit because someone screwed up.
So $208,000 basically. So they.
Do you have a link to that,
so a
Bo?
bot to the OpenSea item.
Yeah.
Or yeah, here I'll paste it in our Discord real quick, and then we can paste that in to the show notes here in a second. But yeah, it's here. Let me get it so that I can get Ryan to pull it up too. Let's see, I'm looking for my Discord chat over here on the other system I'm on. If you get to it faster, Steve, paste it in.
I pasted it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So you see it's listed for 85 now, but if you scroll down, keep going right there. The item activity right there. Okay. So we can see 4 days ago sold for 0.75. That was the fat finger.
Look at that guy's account. Look at that Max Knot.
Yeah.
What is he up to? How is he a whale?
Well, I mean, we could look, but and then 2 days ago, 59.99 ETH.
And now it's listed for 85.
Can you write this off on your taxes?
This guy's loaded, dude. This guy's got all. Well, I don't know how many are like valuable, but he has 398.
He's literally drinking his tears away.
Dude, he has 398 NFTs. He can't be that poor.
Dude,
look at that! Look at how many mutant apes he has. This guy's fine.
That's kind of messed up, dude. Just because he's got some mutants.
Sucks to suck, dude. I mean, this is the thing when you're playing with like blockchain is the industry of, oh, you want to play with the big boys? Okay, here you go. Like you can just do a transaction. Yeah, the bank isn't going to call you and be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to wire this money offshore?" You're like, "No, you want to sell 100, send 100 ETH to Ralph? Go ahead. Nothing's going to stop you if you have the money in your account." Like, and that's been clear from day one. So I have no sympathy, and it's also not that hard to be like, double check before I click send. I do that with emails, let alone like, oh, I'm playing with 300 grand. That's got to give you, I guess.
He's got a lot of subducts. Oh, there's more Bored Apes right there. He's got 2.
Dude, 3. Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay. I mean,
he's got 3 other Bored Apes right there.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I do not feel bad for this guy. I don't care. Maybe I'm a dick. Maybe I'm a dick, but I do not feel bad.
I mean, $200,000 is a lot, but
not to this dude.
Maybe we should be writing bots, guys, to buy freaking NFTs off.
It sounds like somebody did this to the punch.
Do you know what actually would be put up for gas?
This would actually, so this would actually be a really interesting research project, is to see how many competing bots paid not enough gas to buy that same NFT.
Well, so you can look at that transaction, can't you, on the blockchain? You can.
Well, so we can look at that transaction and see like that specific one, but I mean, like,
you see the failed. You can't see the failed.
Yeah, you would have to look at all the failed right around it, and see like there's probably like 100 bots all trying to pay like 30 grand to buy that same NFT. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But how many? Yeah. I mean, the real high rollers are the people who are like, I'll give my bot 8 ETH to play with at gas fees, dude. Like, I mean, not That's a lot of money to just code in. I mean, I don't know if I trust my code that much.
Yeah, but if you wrong like 20 times and you actually nail it one time, you're good to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it does. I will say, I'm sure that OpenSea, being sort of the center for all of this, will have to implement those kinds of warnings, because this probably won't be the first time this happens or the last time this happens. Like, I guarantee you some celebrity, some person is going to fuck this up, and it's going to be more even high profile than this one for sure.
Yeah, and so like this brings up more than just like fat finger issues though with OpenSea, because like the bigger things that end up happening are like scams that where they'll just create the same exact NFT under a different name, right? And then people just go search for the NFT and they'll get, like the wrong NFT under the wrong name, because there's no verification. There's like OpenSea has no verification on who's actually posting stuff there. You can, as a creator, get verified, right? But that doesn't stop me from, like, I can go create like the Bored Ape, crypto club or something, right? Like something different that's not quite the Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? And go flip around the pictures some. People do that all the time. And then people, end up going and paying a lot of money. There was one that happened, I don't think we have it as a news story, but there's a derivative project. So if you're not familiar with derivative projects, it's basically these people that want to kind of, I'd say mooch off of the fame of other projects. What they do is they take the same attributes from the original NFT. So like, for example, the Bored Apes, right? They take all the attributes and then they go and they create a brand new project using those attributes, but with different art. So they'll, like, for example, there was one called the Lil Baby Ape Club, and they were like these little baby versions of the Bored Apes, right? And what happened is there was so as this project was getting developed, another person like sniped the contract, like IPFS URL, and then they made a new contract, like their own contract, and all they did was point their contract at the original IPFS URL. So they didn't have to make art, they didn't have to do anything. They just had to make a contract. And then they ended up selling more than the original contract because people thought that was a legit Lil Baby Ape Club. and then, eventually, like, people did some sleuthing and figured out the dates were off, right, on who was first. And then there's like all this lashback because of other issues. There was some like racist stuff that they added in. But then they did like there's like lashback, and then they eventually like figured out who was the true like Lil Baby Ape Club creator. Anyways, there's stuff like that, like that. There's other sites on some of the other chains, like Solana Art on the Solana NFT side, where they actually make the projects go through a bit of a verification process before being able to post. So like there's much less chance of getting scammed due to that, that process, like the artist has to actually go through to even get their NFTs on the site.
So did you get a Little Baby Ape?
No. No, I do not have any Little Baby Apes.
Oh man, that'd have been cool. Next time.
I could be the official person on the CoinSec podcast that says I think NFTs are stupid, but everyone else loves them. I hate them.
I don't know about loves them, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I took Ralph to an NFT conference 2 weeks ago.
NFT. I was drinking the Kool-Aid, like an NFT Kool-Aid. Everybody when you come in the door. It's weird, but it was.
The art is really cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out of this, which I enjoy looking at and whatever. But
yeah, but paying
whether or not it's worth 50
yeah,
ETH for me to look at a picture, that's up to the user.
Steve, you better not save that picture to your hard drive. If you do, that's breaking the law.
What is that, DCMA or something like that?
How dare you? That's my NFT. I paid money for it.
Speaking of NFTs, what about Nike, man? Acquiring.
Yeah, so this was a big story. So we've started to see more and more brands kind of coming into the NFT space over the last few weeks. Actually, since Facebook changed their name to Meta, we've had Budweiser release their own NFT. We had last week, or actually just a couple days ago, Pepsi decided they want to release one, and then it was like a week or two ago, Adidas made a partnership with Bored Apes, where they're gonna have like their own like metaverse stuff going on. for Adidas. And then now, just a couple days ago, Nike announced that they're acquiring Artifact. So RTFKT, Artifact, so Artifact is they're like the designer shoes of the metaverse, basically. Like they do designer like shoe wear for things like the Sandbox and other places. So they wanted to, jump on board with Artifact here. And I think it's kind of interesting to see these major brands kind of starting to jump into the NFT space more and more.
I mean, it makes sense with the sneaker company or shoe company, right? Because they've been doing these kinds of limited quantity releases of a high value object, right? Like that's,
you don't even wear them.
People. Yeah. Well, you can wear them in the metaverse, Ralph. You don't understand.
I know, that's why it's so exciting. I can't wait. I'm putting my goggles right now.
I can get my Air Jordans and they won't wear out. I can wear them to Chipotle finally and flex on everyone.
Everybody going to that virtual meta Chipotle. Do you think guac's still extra?
Well, yeah, you have to go buy it on the guac chain, dude.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't. And wasn't there some like insidery trading stuff that we talked about before the show with this?
So that's one of the things that kind of came up. There was a lot of drama around this particular purchase because there was some talk of potential like insider trading in terms of people knowing about this acquisition happening ahead of time and going and buying a ton of the most recent Artifact release, which was CloneX, is their major NFT release they just did. There were a couple people that ended up going and buying like hundreds of $1,000s worth like the day before Nike, the Nike announcement happened, and then they get called out on it and tweets deleted, that kind of stuff. But like I don't know, like Corey, like you're arguing earlier with Ralph about like what is insider trading in this world anyway?
Right. Yeah. Well, is this so? Yeah. The questions are, first of all, is it illegal? Like, we know that insider trading applies to the stock market, but would those laws and regulations apply to something like an NFT? How long would it take the judge to understand the concept? Probably at least a few years. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because obviously this acquisition would be impossible to keep this completely quiet at Nike, right? Like, there's hundreds of employees who probably were aware of it. The question is, was it one of them that drained their life savings to buy these, or was it just like, oh, we were out for beers and someone mentioned, oh yeah, they're acquiring Artifact, right? That's where it's like, I don't know. I mean, if you are a Nike employee and you drained your life savings, like you better have a new job lined up soon, probably. like go work at one of the crypto startups.
I mean, I guess the question is like, is that insider trading according to our laws, right? Or is it just insider trading if it's with a stock, right? Like, I mean, and
this has come up before.
Prove it, right? That's the other thing too.
Yeah,
that could be really difficult, right?
This exact same thing happened with an OpenSea employee, like somebody who actually worked at OpenSea. Like they had like the jump on knowing who was going to be like on the front page basically of OpenSea and bought a bunch or something like that.
And what happened? Did they go to jail?
I don't think
they get
so.
Fired?
I think they might have left the company. Yeah, I do think they left OpenSea.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's really crazy. Just the amount of information you need to make this kind of speculative call, and we'll see. I mean, there have not been many articles on this show where we talk about people going to jail or
not at all.
Even getting caught, let alone going to jail. So
yeah, unless you're running a worldwide like black market drug ring like Russellberg. Well,
that is an example of you have to do a lot of other crimes probably to really get in trouble. Like, you have to putting out a hit on your friends.
Yeah, that's just gonna say putting a hit out.
Yeah, that probably is a big one.
On the insider trading one too. Like, if you did overhear somebody say something like that, and you did do that trade, right? Technically, it's insider trading, right? Like, you're not related to them or anything. You just overheard. The problem is now the federal government has to prove that you heard it from this person, right? And that other person has to make the connection and there would have to be witnesses that that heard that person say this thing and could prove that you overheard that situation, and then you took that information and made that trade, that can be devilishly hard to prove in court, right?
It would be impossible to prove. But I will say, if I had to guess, I would guess that it's someone that's way closer interconnected with the deal, because I mean, this is just me. Maybe other people are different. I wouldn't drain my bank account because I heard someone at a bar say that Nike was going to buy. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be closer. It had to be someone that's closer connected to this deal, and there's got to be a trail. I would guess there's a paper,
You obviously didn't go to NFT Basel in Miami, like Robin. I think because some of those people, I guarantee you, if they heard that, they would totally do it.
For sure, there are people that would do it, and that could be the case, right? It could be someone who just was at a public event and heard a discussion about it and said, you know what, I'm going all in. And worst case scenario, I guess it's not that, it's not that risky. NFTs, at least you still have the NFT. It's not like you're.
At least you still got the JPEG.
You still got that JPEG, so.
Got it.
I would definitely spend my life savings on JPEGs, but only if they were, really good and totally not copies of every other JPEG.
We need to do a convince Corey about NFTs episode of.
It'd be amazing.
I think it's good to have opposing opinions.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Then that way it's 3 against 1.
Well, Ryan's here too. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ryan's not on board. So
he's actually buying an NFT right now.
Yeah,
that's what's going on.
He just got
over here.
Bored apes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he just went and got a little baby ape.
Little baby ape.
I mean, as an ETH miner, please keep playing with your NFTs. I'll take the 8 ETH in gas fees. But
me, please, me.
So some other notable crypto news. Tesla apparently, based off of a tweet from Elon, says that they're going to start accepting Dogecoin for some merchandise.
So is that insider trading? Because I saw Elon Musk tweet about it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, this is going to take about as long as it's taken him to make that damn Tesla truck. So, hold on.
So he owns Doge too, right? So in that case, it is insider trading, and Elon Musk has actually been fined multiple times by the SEC.
He has. Yeah.
So I'm sure he's sitting over there, and I'm just going to mess around because I've run out of things to do, and I don't, I already went to space. I don't know what else is there to do in life other than argue with the U.S. government on Twitter.
I mean, the government's like, you broke a law, now you must pay a fine, right? It's like, well, how much is the fine? Well, I mean, it's not going to be $1 billion because I could spend $1 billion on lawyers to not pay the fine for a long time, right?
Well, you also, dude, his sick gains in Doge are going to outweigh the fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, think about these people who've been waiting around with all of their Dogecoin, can't use it for shit. And now they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I can give me a car.
No, you
may not be a Lambo, but I'm going to get that plaid version.
You cannot get a car.
Hey, just the merch.
Oh, no, it's only the merch, not the car.
Only the merch,
so you
can just
a lot of Tesla mugs.
Yeah.
Some mugs, some hats.
Tesla bucks.
Yeah, you could get a lot of things that they make a huge profit on every sale, I'm sure.
Battery powered Tesla mugs.
Possibly seat covers. I don't know what all they sell.
Seat covers? They're not like 1990 Toyotas. Just saying, dude.
Oh, God.
I think that's
like
so. Wait, new
steering wheels.
New NFTs, seat covers for your virtual car. I think we need to.
Oh yeah, my virtual ride. I'm going to start up a virtual car manufacturing in the metaverse, making them sweet dubbed out wheels.
I don't know if that's sick, dude.
Hey Steve, we're out of milk. All right, I'm going to hop in the metaverse and go get some.
Which milk do you want? Crypto milk, bored milk, or
baby ape milk?
Sorry,
with that, I think that's a good place to end this episode.
I think we've gone over the edge. We really have. That and time.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening. We will be back next week. And if you want to check out some of the links from the show, we have the show notes up on CoinSecPodcast.com. Go follow us on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube. and we'll catch you guys next week. Next week is the holidays, as Ryan just pointed out in our chat. However, I think we're going to try to do it maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday next week, just like this, just to get one done before the holidays.
Maybe I'll wear a Santa suit.
Ooh, a suit.
Well, it is a suit. What else do you call what Santa wears?
I mean,
like I was gonna say like a hat, like a Santa hat. Like I mean, I've got beard ornaments. I can put the ornaments in, like the little, you know. Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a Santa NFT and wear that.
How do you wear an NFT?
What was the one that you tagged me in last night, Steve? The gangsta elves or something?
Like gangsta elf.
Oh man,
yeah,
I'm not buying that.
Well, yeah. Well, anyways, I guess we'll see you guys next week then.
Bye.
Bye, guys.